I'm not a people person. And that's another detriment of having this type of business. You know what I mean? That's a big thing with this type of business is you have to be this person that's going around shaking hands, introducing, da-da-da-da. And
very small. A lot of people won't, you know what I'm saying? A lot of people won't walk around here and say, I know what Richards is about. Only what they see on social media or what they see when they come in the shop. Other than that, I'm very, very private person. And I'm big on reputation too. You know what I'm saying? Because I feel like your reputation is your credit.
TV, to have these things, you got to be white. You got to be, you know, so growing up where I grew up, you don't see that. Like if you see it, you about to get 100 years if they catch you with it. You know what I'm saying? So for me, the moment where I found out that I was in the position to buy the things that I thought I would never be able to own, it was over.
Welcome to the Rich Talk Podcast. I'm your host, Rich. And today's guest, I had one of the amazing people that I know, a brilliant mind, a successful businessman, somebody I consider my friend, a great father, a great mentor. Like whatever I need from this man, as far as tutoring, this man has really came through. Man, I want you guys to give a round of applause for my brother, the one and only Prince Travers.
Hey, appreciate that, man. That's a good welcome, man.
Did I do a good job?
That's good, man. I like that, man.
How you doing, my brother?
I feel warm and welcome, man.
Man, how you doing, man?
Hey, man, I'm blessed, man.
You looking. I'm always looking clean, but you looking clean today, my brother.
You know, I'm velvet if you let me tell it, man. It's all good, man.
Man, it's good to see you, my brother. Likewise. Look, man, we just had a discussion a couple of days ago, man. I invite you to this podcast, man, and I just want to tell you that I appreciate you because whatever that you was doing, man, you just dropped whatever you're doing just to come on here, man, and have this high level conversation with me, man. I want to give you your flowers, man. A lot of people don't do that because I know you're a busy person. You know what I'm saying? And at the time that I kind of film, it's kind of late, but you drop everything you had to do, say, man, say less, man, and you came on, man. I appreciate that, man.
No doubt, man. If it's something good, if it's something that makes sense, man, I'm always willing to support it, man, especially for my good man.
No doubt, no doubt.
So like I said, we've been rocking for a minute now. So
yeah, we're gonna talk about that.
For sure.
We're gonna have a nice conversation about that. But I define success as progressively working towards your worthy ideal, right? Meaning that progressively working towards a common goal, whether it's your passion, whether it's something that you love to do. Mine is like from barbering, translating to this podcast, right? And ultimately just gaining a level of mastery and a level of ultimate freedom, right?
Right.
So in your own words, in your own definition, man, what does success mean to you?
You know, that's a good question, man. What I realize is that a lot of people have created whatever their depiction of success is. And unfortunately, a lot of it is always based on the standards that they see somebody else set.
Absolutely.
You know, for me, my success comes from comfort. You know, being in a situation where we trying to figure it out, you so uncomfortable. You know, you so uncomfortable where you moving and you doing things, trying to just find that peace, find that comfort. So for me, when I'm working, when I'm doing stuff, it's not necessarily geared towards individual things like I need to do this, I need to do that. It's more so like what's going to put me or put my son or put my family in a different situation. And when I come home and I'm good and I ain't got to be worried about something, I know I'm in a good neighborhood. I know I'm in a good house. I know I'm in I'm not looking at material things or nothing like that as success. For me, is based on comfort and me being able to think of something and then flourish it, and that's kind of what I always did. Finding something where my brain moves so much where I can take something and say, oh shit, I got something.
Yeah.
And then I put the energy behind it. But for me, success is so temporary because you have to find the fulfillment.
I was about to say that.
It's so many things that I've done and that I've created and I've been good at. but it was no fulfillment.
Facts.
So at the end of the day, like it became more of a challenge than like a goal.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? So it's like, all right, I said I can did it. They said I couldn't do it. Let me show them I can do it. But then after I do it, I'm like, I ain't fuck the shit.
It's like a high. You know how people get high, and then after the high go down, that's a certain level of void.
That's what it is. So once I reached that point where it's like I took this way further than I thought I would, then I noticed myself getting so bored with it. Gotcha. So I try not to connect success to things like that because it's not, for me, it's not realistic. So it's more so like the feeling of comfort. You know, coming from where I come from, you know, you uncomfortable. You trying to figure out, you know, how to do this, how to get this. So for me, that's what it's about.
So do you think that people has to be purpose driven to be successful?
No, absolutely not. But I think what happens is they start to lose themselves in what they feel success is. So now you get to a point where you start realizing you have all of these things that people view as success, but now you're still miserable.
Gotcha.
You know what I mean? You're not happy. Now you seeking shit that you don't even know whether it exists or not because you've been told for so long success was houses and cars and, you know, money and all of this stuff. So then once
appeasing your parents and, you know, making sure that everybody's good, making that $200,000 a year. That's not success because there's nothing that's a void after you achieve all that. Because I've been in situations where I was doing certain things that I didn't, it wasn't passionate to me. But once the objective was done, it was like the void. Like, this is not what I really want. You know, so all I see was the money, all I see was the cars, all I see was the things, the material things that come with it. But there was no any form of you know what I'm saying, any form of intangible or anything I can attach myself to spiritually. Right. You know what I'm saying? So
that's what it is. And I think, like, for me, be honest with you, every business that I've had, maybe up until this one, was that exact same thing.
Okay.
I would do something because I knew I could. And then I would do it. And then after I did it, I'm like, man, fuck this shit. But I think it became the cockiness of me knowing that I can do it. After I've done it 2, 3, 4 times, I'm like, this shit, it's a science. It's the same science. Yeah. It's the same 1-2 step every time. So now that I know I got the formula, I just kept repeating it. But then I get it, I sell it. I'll get it, you know what I mean? I'll be like, look, tell my man, look, you want to do something here, take this jump, run with it.
Because there's no attachment to it.
No attachment to it. Because for me, it's a hobby. That was my hobby. But because, you know, before I started really doing my own businesses, I was creating businesses for other people.
Gotcha.
You know what I'm saying? So my marketing background and, you know, how my brain think, before I even start really doing my own, I'm building shit for everybody else. So I got all these ideas and I'm creating them, selling them, creating them, selling them. So that's the formula I kind of took when I started mine, which now in hindsight, I'm like, I wasted so much time, you know, on shit that I didn't really care about. I made money, for sure. But, you know, I could have been 10 years in what I'm doing now. You know what I mean? But, you know, you live and you learn. Yeah.
Speaking of what you're doing now, man, tell everybody who Prince Travers is and exactly what you do.
I mean, shit, I'm just a regular person, man. I'm a chill dude, man. I'm laid back. I stay to myself, as you know, man. And I've decided to take my talents in the security industry. So for me, I own a corporate security company. As a corporation, I do everything from, you know, high-end corporate events. I deal with a lot of politicians. I deal with a lot of, let's say, high-figure people that, you know, other people may feel like they want to do something too. It's kind of my job to make sure they're good, you know, and then I do recreational stuff, you know, sports stuff and other stuff like that. So that's the side of it. I'm into the security, and then I own a firearm business as well, where, you know, I'm a tactical firearm trainer, you know, give people their permits, I sell guns, I build guns, all of the above. So
you do a lot.
Yeah, you know what I mean? But again, even with that, it's just stuff that I've acquired.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So for me, when it came to creating the business, it was okay, this is the business. this is an umbrella, this is an umbrella, this is an umbrella, because that's what people don't understand. A lot of people that do a lot of different things at once, they spreading themselves thin because you're trying to be a barber, then you're trying to be a mechanic, then you want to paint cars, then you want to do all these things. And it's dragging you in so many different ways. So for me, I have multiple businesses as well, but they're all under the same umbrella. So I don't have to stretch myself too thin because it's all in the same realm.
But they're all connected. They're all connected. You know what I'm saying? So how do you go about, like, as far as your security, right? Can you break it down a little bit? How you go about, like, getting contracts, or you get contracts and stuff like that, right?
Yeah.
So how do your security corporation operate?
So it's a few different aspects, right? So I have actual security contracts where it's a daily, 9 to 5, 3 different shifts. I work with a lot of, corporate data centers. I work with a lot of, tech people and stuff like that. And then I have another end where I do like high-end events, and I do, things where it's not as taxing. It's like kind of as on-demand type of thing where, like I said, let's just take the stadium, for instance. Like, I know that schedule already. So I know,
okay, my FedEx, right?
FedEx or Audi or whatever the case may be.
Okay.
I got the schedule. So I know, okay, I need these people for these days. So depending on what kind of contract it is, whether they need a clearance, what type of credentials they may need, that kind of help me decipher, like, what type of people I need to work with, what type of background they need to have, and if they qualify for it. So, a lot of the stuff that people may see on social media, that's more my recreational stuff. Okay. The stuff that I'm doing on a day-to-day basis, that stuff you can't post. That's a lot of confidential stuff. And, so I'm not posting that on Instagrams and all of that type of stuff. But yeah, man. So, I mean, the structure can go different ways. The thing about security is there's so many different formats and essential different things that they may put you in. I don't do, and that's the misconception that a lot of people have. I'm not a bodyguard. I don't do bouncer work. I don't do clubs. I don't really work with rappers unless, it's a personal favor for somebody. So I kind of stay in the realm of, the corporate side, the politicians, the news stations, things of that nature. So
do you physically have to be on site on every job, or do you delegate most of the work to your employees?
No, absolutely not. I'm now rarely, on, unless, let me put it like this. I'm rarely working. Okay. But because of the type of person that I am, I'm always available and I'm always around, because I just want to be that face. You know what I mean? I just want whoever my client is to feel comfortable knowing that whatever they've trusted me to secure is not just being trusted by a bunch of people they don't know, but the person who they've been doing business with, who they've been sending the checks to, who they've been emailing back and forth. I'm physically there to connect and make sure everybody doing what they're supposed to do, to kind of alleviate it. And like I said, I'm fortunate enough to where as though my company is still on a smaller scale in size, where I can still do that. I can still pop up. I can still, pull up to different places to make sure everything going the way it's supposed to go. But don't get it twisted, man. At a drop of a dime, I have no problem suiting up, and going out there to do the work. So if I got somebody work, it's been plenty times I done had people working and somebody ain't doing what they supposed to do.
You got it.
All right, man, go ahead, go home. I got it. And I put on a security shirt and be sitting there. Don't nobody know I'm the owner. I'm sitting there just doing the work. You know what I'm saying? Because I think one of my mottos is like, I'm never going to ask anybody to do nothing that I wouldn't do.
Facts.
So any job that I give somebody, I'm more than willing to do it myself. You know what I mean? Now, I want to give the money to you, but what people don't understand, that if I do it myself, I'm getting paid a whole lot more. You know what I'm saying? So I'm okay with it. But I got some good people though, man. So I rarely run into that problem. So
because the thing is, with it's kind of hard, and I don't want to say this because sometimes it feels like I'm downing on my people. I don't work with a lot of Black people that let me down.
Yeah, for sure.
You know what I'm saying? So sometimes it's kind of difficult to really create a nice team or a nice little blanket with people of our own color, because sometimes it's always an excuse. I got to do this, I got to do that. But the thing is, like all this stuff you already know that you were supposed to do this maybe 2-3 days ago or maybe a week ago.
Right.
And you wait the last minute to tell me that something came up.
So I look at it like this, right? You got a homeboy, right?
Yes, sir.
That's your man.
Mm-hmm.
You know he ain't dependable. You know he move a certain way. Don't necessarily mean you got to stop messing with him, but you know you got to move a certain way when you're dealing with him.
Mm-hmm.
For me, it's the same nature of business. If I'm working with my people, I'm smart enough to know what I'm dealing with. So as the owner, you prepare for that type of stuff. So if I know I'm working with somebody who may be new or I don't know him that well, yeah, like I want to trust that he's doing the right thing. But if he don't, best believe I already got my man on standby. Like, hey, I don't really know what's up with him. Hey, I might hit you. So I done already did it. So when you understand stuff, you don't take it personal. I don't take it personal.
Yeah.
If somebody called me and say, hey, man, I can't come, I got such and such and such to do, I'm not going to take it personal. As long as you don't take it personal, when I say, all right, well, you no longer need it. And we understand that that's the nature of business. Yeah. Cool, you know, but I will say, you know, when I started my business, I was all about Black owned and helping the community, and you know I'm doing this for my people and blah 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 blah. You know that was what I was preaching a lot. But the deeper and deeper I got into it, I realized that it's a difference between having a Black owned business and being a Black person that just own a business. And sometimes we blind ourselves so much with that Black owned business, Black owned business, that you end up putting yourself in this box where I'm just a Black dude that own a business. You know what I'm saying? And a part of me owning a business is understanding the demographics, understanding the wants and the needs.
Yeah.
Me understanding that if I'm doing a corporate event or if I'm doing something on high end, they don't want to see a bunch of Black people.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? They want the diversity because that's what the crowds that we dealing with. So at some point I had to step away and say, okay, this doesn't necessarily mean that I can't still give opportunities to my people, but what's my people? My people can be anybody.
Fact.
My people, anybody who willing to work and willing to do the job and make me look good. So at this point, I don't care what you look like. You know what I'm saying? At the end of the day, I got the same formula. You do what you're supposed to do, you good with me. You don't, Black, white, yellow, purple, it don't matter. The same formalities happen.
Got you. So as far as your business is concerned, right? How do you actually not just retain clients, but how do you get clients as far as the big clients? Do you have like a team that make phone calls, or do you have some form of structure that you go by for you to really retain clients or get clients?
No, you know what, man? I'll be honest with you, right? I've been blessed in a situation where I've never had to bid for a contract.
Are you serious?
I've never had to fight for a contract. I've never had to really, you know, go against nobody. My format that's been working for me is creating those relationships and holding myself to a high standard, showing character. And when you know how to really present yourself, you realize you have to do less work. So for me, before I started my business, I knew everybody.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? I've been out here for a long time. So it's knowing how to nurture those relationships and knowing how to, you know, really get people to understand who you are without having to force it to them, right? So I rarely ever, and I mean this in all sincerity, I never promote my company.
Wow. So no Instagram, no Facebook.
Only thing you're gonna see on
YouTube.
Instagram is like the gun stuff.
Yeah.
But you never see me.
Hey, you crazy with the gun stuff.
but you never see me.
Bored. That's what it is.
Yeah, that's all it is, man. But no, but it's a bigger picture than that too. We'll talk about that later though. But for me, you never see me promoting on Instagram or Facebook or anything like that. Like if you need security services, hire me, right? I'm gonna tell you something else. I don't even have a website.
Yeah. Damn.
Because I haven't needed it. You know what I'm saying? It's been a situation where as though, like, yeah, I can get it just so people can look at it, but I've got myself in a weird spot as of recent where the fear of having a website, like I can't take no more business. You know what I'm saying?
So you that busy.
It's not even that busy, but one of the biggest mistakes that people make in this area is getting so greedy for the money that they start taking stuff that they know they can't handle. You know what I'm saying?
Less is more.
You want the contract so much that, for one, you're going to underbid yourself. And for two, you know you don't have the staff to fulfill it. You know you don't have what you have to have in order to satisfy the contract. But instead of just saying, I can't deal with it, you taking it. You want that 50, 60,000 or whatever that is. And then you figure it out later. And then you can't do it. And now your name is ruined. So me and you talk. I'm not going to divulge everything that we talk about, but me and you talk a lot as far as, and you got some big people that you're working with, right? So what I'm saying is, as far as contracts, you don't really, it's all relationships.
I'm not even saying that. As far as, you don't have an agent to really look over all is you.
Nope. Everything I do 100% myself.
So how did you learn that? Like, how did you come about looking at contracts? And you know how you got some lawyers that they look at your contracts. Well, how did you learn to look at contract and say, you know what, this makes sense and this doesn't make any sense?
I mean, because honestly, man, it's the same format.
Okay.
You know what I mean? Typically in security contracts, you're going to deal with the same format. The only thing that's going to change is the logistics.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying? So once you've seen so many, you know what ain't going to make sense, what don't make sense. So for me, I don't mind asking questions.
Okay.
And for me, I don't mind not getting a contract if I don't understand it. So if it's something that I can't look through and see that it physically makes sense, you know what I'm saying? And they can't answer the question. And that's typically where I'm like, something don't make sense.
Something don't make sense.
Because for me, I have no problem saying, hey, I seen, this paragraph, this title, this number, can you give me a little more details on that? Oh, well, let me try to get somebody from HR to, what you mean? You've been dealing with these contracts long enough to where as though you're supposed to have that answer. Yeah. And for me, it's like, But I mean, don't get me wrong. Like, if it's something where I'm truly like out of the loop of, I have no problem asking. Like, I don't have people on staff to do that, but I have enough relationships where I can make a phone call like, hey, check this out for me. Let me know if this makes sense or not. Just my personal friends. I got friends that's lawyers. I got friends that do all types of stuff. So, hey, check this out for me. Let me know if it makes sense. But no, man, everything. And honestly, I'm not saying this in a braggadocious way, but everything that I've done has been by myself, which I'm learning now is becoming my detriment.
You gotta learn to delegate.
It's becoming my detriment because I've placed myself in this situation where I'm doing everything to where as though like when I'm needed places, I can't be because I got to be this place.
Yeah.
But it's kind of like that saying I heard somebody else talking like it's tough for me to relinquish certain stuff. You know what I'm saying?
Why you think that?
Because like I said, you dealing with, $100,000, $200,000, you know what I'm saying? And you dealing with high figure people. And I understand that one person that had nothing to do with me getting the money can make me lose the money.
Yeah.
One person. A person who I don't even have to, it's just a person who I hired. That one person can do something stupid and ruin the whole thing. So for me, I'm like, like you said, less is more. You know what I'm saying? Like I would rather put myself in a situation where I have a minimal amount of things to handle and I know everything is flowing smoothly. Because what people don't understand, you don't need 10, 15, 20 contracts to be good. You know what I'm saying? You can get one contract that'll change your entire life. It just all depends on where you at with it. You know what I'm saying? Like, so, one contract that you can get one contract where they need 50 people for 24 hours every day. You know what I'm saying? 24 hours times 50 people, you do the math. And you charging 50, 60 per hour.
That's a lot of money.
You know what I'm saying? But
I can't use my fingers or my thumbs by that.
But with all that being said though, one person
can mess
one
up.
person fall asleep, one person have a fight, one person cuss somebody out, then it's like, oh, you know what I'm saying? So for me, that's why it's such a tough thing to do, man. But it's something that I know I need to do. I just gotta figure out, how, because it's hurting me. You know what I'm saying?
I'm asking you that because, most companies, most big corporations or companies have a structure. They got a CFO, they got a CEO, you know what I'm saying, all the way down to maybe the secretary, right? So it's going to get to a point where it's going to be taxing on you doing all this work instead of trying to sit down. You know what I'm saying? So are you in the future going to really sit down and really trying to structure it like a more of a what you call it, what's the word I'm looking for? A hierarchy, a class system where you have the top dog, the the CFO, the CMO, and all of that to the point where.
Right. So what you view in business as it's a corporation, right? Yeah. So my business is a corporation.
Mm-hmm.
So right now, I'm president, I'm vice president, I'm secretary, I'm treasurer. You know what I'm saying? So
you manager.
I do it all. And not because, like I said, not because I want to. I mean, even on some tax purposes stuff,
yeah,
that's a different story. But it's just one of those things where, like I said, again, the ultimate goal is for me to be able to acquire more, to be able to be more diverse, to be able to spread,
mm-hmm.
further. But I know what I need to do to get it. And I know I've been needing to do it for a while. It's just that who? And I think for me, I have such a distinct personality that I know I can't just pick up a random person.
Yeah.
It has to be somebody who I feel a way about personally for me to be able to do good business with them. Okay. And I think that's the challenge for me, where somebody else would just pay somebody online to be like, hey, come apply for this job, come do an interview. Mm-hmm. For me, it's so much bigger than that. I gotta like your energy. I gotta like what you represent. I gotta like what you stand for. I gotta like your morals. I gotta, feel a way. And I have one guy that I really rock with, man. Shout out to my man Julius, man.
Shout out to Julius.
Military guy, super sharp guy, man. This motherfucker crazy. In the military, jumping out of helicopters, planes, like he's serious, right? But
daredevil.
But he carries himself in a way that I appreciate. You know what I'm saying? So me and him are in talks. I want to give him, more roles, more responsibilities. Because I think one of my other downfalls is I'm not a people person, and that's another detriment of having this type of business.
Welcome to my world.
You know what I mean?
Welcome to my world.
That's a big thing with this type of business is you have to be this person that's going around shaking hands, introducing, da-da-da-da. And that's not a strong point of mine. But my guy, that's what he can walk up to a complete stranger, just have a whole 30-minute conversation.
My brother's like that.
And that's beautiful. You know what I mean? Like usually, like personally, I'm like, but in a business structure, it's such a beautiful thing to watch him. And even, one of my big homies that's in the security game, he'll go to anybody, man, janitors, security. Mm-hmm. He don't care who it is. And he'll go have a whole conversation with them, introduce himself, give them a card, and just act like they're the same as the CEOs. And that's something that I picked up because, again, in the security, you never know who's going to be talking. Man, you never know if the janitor
don't get fed.
The janitor might just be mopping and hear somebody say, man, I really need a security company. And that janitor well, I got this card right here. The guy, and you never know. You know what I mean? So for me, I understand that that's not a strong point of mine. I'm very accountable of my downfalls. I'm very accountable of my flaws. But these are all things that this year, I told myself I'm going to work on, man. I.e. me, even doing podcasts, me doing shows, that's not like in my typical format of things to do, but, it's stuff that I know I got to start, moving a certain way because people do respect what I'm doing. You know what I mean?
I do.
I am in I'm in rooms that people don't expect me to be in. Mm-hmm. And I got to take that with some appreciation and say, you know what, I got to really appreciate these opportunities and put myself out there more. So, yeah, man.
Yeah. No, me and you are somewhat alike because I'm the type of person, I'm a do-it-all person too. Even with this whole podcast, like I had to jump out. I'm not a people person either. When somebody have a conversation with me, they get the inclination that that's who I am. But I'm a person that's always to myself. That's why I always stayed out of a lot of big trouble because I'm not going to tell you my past, or I'm not going to put it on blast, but we all young. We all was young and dumb and did some dumb stuff. But I always had foresight. For some reason, I was blessed with that gift to know when something is coming, and for me to get out of the way. So I'm always watching my surroundings. I'm not really a people person. I'm just whatever got to be done. I feel like all you have is you. So I always use that mentality for the way that I live. So even with this podcast, when I thought about it, I said, you know what, it got to be done. I ain't called nobody for help. Once I got to a point where I needed help, I reached out to people that I trust, and I say, you know what, look, I'm at the end of my line. I need some help. Even my editor Black, I called him. I'm like, you know what I'm saying? My video, he's like, it's me and him, and then my crew that we do the Barber Talk Thursdays with. So my circle is very, very small. A lot of people won't, you know what I'm saying? A lot of people won't walk around here and say, I know what Riches is about. Only what they see on social media or what they see when they come in the shop. Other than that, I'm a very, very private person. And I'm big on reputation too. You know what I'm saying? Because I feel like your reputation is your credit, and you know what I'm saying? Once you lose that reputation, it's hard for you to build it back up. So I have built strong reputations with a lot of good people by just talking to them, you know what I'm saying? Having that trust with even with you, like a lot of things that I know about you that you would never, you know what I'm saying? Nobody will ever know. So even through this podcast, everybody that come on this podcast, I have some type of relationship with. You know what I'm saying? And all of them are doing great things. So I'm real, real big on reputation. I'm real big on reputation, man. And you know what I'm saying? So I carry that along with me. So I carry that along with me everywhere that I go, my brother. Everywhere that I go, man.
And believe it or not, man, that's one of the biggest marketing tools that you can have, right? So one of the things that I learned that I take everywhere with me, like you said, I used to do the marketing at MGM and all that, right?
I remember, yeah.
So one of the things that I learned is that how to market with never selling anything. And the way you do that is by strictly, I remember, man, we used to go up to the harbor. We would go to all of the hot spots, and I would simply just introduce myself. I would introduce myself. I would let them know who I am. Oh, like girls at the front desk, I come up there on a random day, bring them all lunch. You know what I mean? Oh, man, look, we got this table. Come get this. Never mention what we doing.
Wow.
Just talking to them. So now they know what I do, but they got that rapport. So instead of me being like, hey, you need security, you need security, you need security, you need security.
Yeah.
Never have to mention it. It's just my presence and the relationship I have. When they hear security, first thing they think about is Prince. I've never said, hey man, I got these security services. I've never done that, but people know what I do.
Exactly.
So when they hear somebody saying they need something gun related or they need security service, because I just randomly just show my gratitude for people, they think about me first. And that was one of the most important things that I took away from when I was working there, that you don't have to pass out no flyers. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, to them people. But if you create the right relationships with you, you got 30, 40 promoters for free.
Yeah.
Just because they like what you're doing. So, but having that is big. That's a big marketing tool, man. So that's good for you.
Because I know a lot of people right now that will tell me, Rich, man, if you need it, call me. If you need anything, and I'm not gonna say it's my pride, but that's how I'm bred.
Right.
I'm bred. I'm just a do-it-yourself person to the point where sometimes it hampers me. I'm not. It hampers me to the point I'm like, I need help, but I'm not saying it's proud. It's just that's my DNA. That's my DNA, man. So I want to talk about something, right? Mm-hmm. And I want to talk about financial literacy, right? A lot of businesses or entrepreneurs are not really successful because of lack of financial literacy, right? Sometimes a lot of businesses open up their businesses, or a lot of entrepreneurs open up their businesses because maybe some money they inherited, some money they got their 401k, their retirement or stuff like that, not actually leaning deep into the finances part of it. And then most of the time they fail, right? So if you had to give an advice as far as financial literacy, right? How would you go about a person starting a business as far as the not just the blueprint, a few steps they can go about before starting a business?
That's two completely different topics, right?
Okay.
So starting a business and creating a business, and then the financial literacy side of it is two completely different worlds,
okay.
right? Because in hindsight, it doesn't take a lot to start the business. Depends on how you want to format it. Whether you want to go LLC, whether you want to go corporation, you'll get more into that, whether you want to go C Corp, S Corp, whether you want to just simply have a sole proprietorship. It really just depends on what your goals is and how far you're going to take it. I started my company as a S Corp.
Okay.
Because I had people that kind of gave me the knowledge of, how to do it and why to do it. On a tax purpose standpoint and, all of that stuff, right? So, but it doesn't take a lot to do it. I think I might have paid like $250 to start my joint.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying? I paid like $250 to get all my paperwork together and get everything going, right? So starting a business, you don't need advice for that. You can go on Google to do that, right? Now, once you get it,
maintaining it,
what you gonna do with it, right? So
that's what I meant when I said financial. I'm saying a lot of people, once they create their business, they don't have the knowledge of financial literacy to actually maintain that business. And maybe 2 years or maybe 3 years down the line, the business fail.
Yeah, I think in the aspect of a business failing has more to do with, their mental illiteracy than financial literacy.
Okay.
Because we both know, you coming up short on a couple of dollars ain't supposed to break what you're doing. So I think it's a situation where when you talk financial literacy, you have somebody who can take the method of like, okay, how to secure a business loan, how to do, your proposals, how to do stuff like that. Me personally, I can't give nobody that advice because that ain't what I did. I pay for everything myself, which I'm realizing now
that's not a good thing.
A horrible idea. You know what I'm saying?
Thing.
But when I started it, I was so prideful to be able to say,
that's me right here.
Man, I just dropped X amount of dollars on this. I just did this. I just did that. But then, when you look at it, like I've been in business now since 2020 with this business.
Yeah.
So when you look at it now, I ain't got nothing to show for it. On paper, you know what I'm saying? On paper, when it comes to
money in it,
when it comes to with the banks, they see the money, but they like what you built, what you did. You know what I mean? So, but the things I know now, I wish I knew then.
Yeah.
So what I will say is, before you get into the mind state of wanting to really be a business owner, you have to take care of yourself first.
Okay.
Because you being the business owner, everything's going to fall back on you. So if your personal credit messed up, if your personal finances messed up, your business ain't going nowhere.
Yeah.
Because what people it's not people under the misconception that, oh, well, I'm going to just create a business and they're going to give me money. Hell no. You know what I'm saying? They're going to look at you like you're crazy. Now, the method of doing that is, all right, cool. I just started a business. I need a loan. Cool, no problem. What's your personal credit like? You going to be a guarantor on this? Now, if you're going to be a guarantor for the loan, cool. We're going to give you the loan in your business name, but you mess up, that's on your personal credit.
Exactly.
But if you don't have that personal credit to co-sign for your business, then you back at square one.
A lot of people don't even know what business credit is.
Yeah.
A lot of people create a business and use their personal credit to fund their business, not knowing that you can actually get the business going and create business credit.
But that's the thing. Like I said, people.
But that's what I mean when I say financial literacy.
Right.
You understand me? So
like I said, it's one of those things. If I was going to give advice, I would say, in the midst of you trying to create a business, build yourself first.
Okay.
Because it looks bad for everybody. You know what I'm saying? Like if I know you a barber, right? You telling me you the best barber in the world, but I come in here and I don't never see no clients in your chair. I'm like, shit, you know what I mean? Like, that don't make sense to me. You know what I'm saying? But when I go out, if I'm preaching ASG is the hottest thing smoking. When you see me, you want to see it. You know what I'm saying? You want to feel it. You want to see what I'm doing. Because if not, it's just hearsay.
Yeah.
So I think it's one of those situations where your personal has to be in order, or you're going to realize that you're not going to go as far as you think. But you can. It's so many different things. And one thing that I do want to preach to the people is, especially for Black people, it's so many different programs, there's so many different loans and grants and different things that's created just for us. All you got to do is do the work. The problem is people, one, don't want to do the research, and two, they don't want to do the work. Because I'll be honest with you, 12, 13 page applications that you got to do, but it's created like that to deter people. But those few people who are persistent enough to sit and do the applications. But, all right, cool, you do the applications. Your taxes on point? Did you file all three? You filed all your taxes. They want 3 years of taxes.
Yeah.
They want to see that you've been handling your personal business before they say, okay, I'm going to support your business. But it's so many different avenues and programs that are really designed to help us, but people aren't persistent because they want to move now. And it don't work like that. You got the A+ programs. You got the minority Black owned business. You got the what is it?
That shit.
Chambers of Commerce. You know what I'm saying? You got so many different things that they look for us.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? They look for us to be involved in these things, but it's only a few people who gonna do the work to actually get put in those folders.
Yeah.
And that's the biggest problem. People want to be business owners just for the sake of saying I'm a business owner.
I'm a business owner.
But
it's for the clout, it's for the females, it's for the, you know what I'm saying, for the material things and all of that.
Yeah,
you know,
but that shit ain't gonna last. So it's only a matter of time for that I'm a business shit start to come with, all right, where's that? You know what I'm saying?
And nowadays you got YouTube, you got Instagram, you got Facebook, you got these ads saying, I can turn $5,000 into this. I can turn $10,000 into this. Or I can teach you how to be a this and this in 10 minutes. And people fall for that. So, you know what I'm saying? A lot of people fail to educate themselves when it comes to business. They just, you know what I'm saying, I got this, I got that, and they jump into a certain level of business without really educating themselves, right? So how important do you think education is prior to owning a business?
Well, one thing I'm gonna say this, right? One of the biggest things that people have to understand, that even I recently just learned myself, right? One of the biggest misconceptions about me is that I'm a hustler.
Why is that a misconception?
Because I'm not a hustler.
Okay.
A hustler is somebody who just work. They're gonna do whatever they gotta do to make it happen. I'm not that. I'm a person who's smart enough to create something, do the little work, and watch it do what it's going to do. But I was talking to my brother the other day, and I've been on him for years, man. Like, bro, like, what are you doing? Like, you still out here? Like, I can help you do whatever you want to do. And he like, bro, like, I don't know how to do that. And when he said I don't know how to do it, I'm like, I can help you. But he didn't mean I don't know how to start a business. He mean I don't know how to snap out of that hustler mindset and become a business owner. That's two completely different worlds.
I got you.
Those are different worlds. So I realized I'm not a hustler at all. I want to do the least amount of work as possible. You know what I'm saying? But that's the misconception, that entrepreneur hustler. Nah, that's not the same. I'm not that, right? But it has to be a situation where that's two worlds that we don't understand. Like I view you as a hustler. You know what I'm saying? You in here, you gonna make it happen. You hustling, right?
By any means.
By any means. And I respect that. But I respect it enough to know, shit, I could never do that. You know what I'm saying?
Hey, look, why you think I'm doing this now? But get to a point where it beats you up, man.
Yeah.
It beats you up. Getting up, like, you know, my schedule is very, very taxing. 4 o'clock in the morning, gym, leave there, go home, take a shower, get here 8 o'clock, don't leave till 7:30, and do it all over again. So I said I got to find a way to scale, because this is not it.
It's just that pressure though, man. So the pressure of you have these hustlers that everybody telling them be a business owner, and those are the people who fail because they move so fast that they don't have time to nurture the business because they so used to, I'm gonna make 1,000. I'm gonna get that's just how they move. So an idea of a business, what you mean I need to wait 6 months before I can? Hell no, I'm gone. That don't make sense to them. Yep. That's not their mindset.
I want it now. They want the gratification instantly.
But again, so that's the difference. And like I said, I just realized that talking to my brother. I used to be so hard on him, like, bro, like do something. Like what we doing? And he'd be like, bro, that ain't me. But I realized he went from bartending, clubs, like he just bah. He getting money.
Yeah.
But when I'm like, put something in something, I don't know how to do that, bro. So I had to step back and was like, you know what? I respect that. Because you can't do what I can do, and I damn sure can't do what you can do. You know what I'm saying? So that's an important thing that I'm realizing is that you have all of these hustlers that now all of a sudden they like, oh, I'm an entrepreneur because they got an LLC. It's two completely different worlds. And in order to come to the other side, you got to slow down. But to answer your question, education is everything, right? And it doesn't have to be a formal thing of education, because that's the good thing about owning the business. Ain't nobody checking my degrees. Ain't nobody asking me about what school I went to. I ain't got to show nobody no resume. I run the shit, right? But everything that I do now is things that I learn. And the reason why that's beneficial, because that means I have to not pay somebody else to do it for me. So when it comes to marketing, when it comes to branding, when it comes to all of these things that people pay thousands and thousands of dollars for,
you know how to do
I know how to do it myself. And I've been doing it for so long that that's another expense that I ain't got to pay for. But even on the aspect of like, just be inquisitive, man. There is zero excuses why a grown man can tell me I don't know something. If you say, I'm like, all right, what you know? Nah, shit, I don't really know nothing right now. I'm like, what you mean? You know what I'm saying?
You don't even know the site to go get your LLC at.
You went online, you just bought the new Versace. You know what I'm saying? You on Instagram looking at the Jones. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, they know how to do that, though.
It's literally right here on your fingers. So for me, if a person tells me I don't know, that's an instant turnoff for me. Because we live in a world right now where there's zero reasons why you should not know the things that you want to know. Now, if it never came to your attention, that's another thing. But there's zero reasons why you should tell me, I want to do this, but I don't know how to do it.
But the thing is, like, before I come to you about what I want to do, you got to do a little bit of research before I come to you. So
you'd be surprised,
at least when you ask me a certain question, a certain little question, I should be able to answer that. Like, what website do you go to create a business? Like, okay. Oh, I don't know. Oh, wow.
Like, people just different. Like, so for me, right? I'm a type of person that I learn every minute of the day, right? And what I mean by that is, I'll give an example, right? Anybody who know me know I don't watch sports. I'm not a sports person. But I can sit here and have an entire sports conversation with you. I be taunting people and everything, having a whole conversation with you, never watching the game, just off of snippets that I heard here. And I formulated enough to where as though now I can maintain a conversation with you. It's the same thing. When you get around different people, you hear so much of what I call throwaway knowledge that people don't even know they teaching you. But everything I hear, grab it. Oh shit, that makes sense. All right, let me get that. So now when I go talk to somebody else, it can be, I don't give a fuck what it's about. Architects. I hear enough people talking about buildings, I can have a conversation with an architect. He's gonna be like, damn, that nigga know what he's talking about. I don't, but he don't know that. You know what I'm saying? So it's just that thing of like, before you put yourself in a situation even to want to learn stuff, you have to turn your brain on to always be willing to absorb.
You got to have a certain level of curiosity too.
For sure.
You know, sometimes a lot of the information that I get, I will ask a person. I will sometimes, even if I don't know, right, I will ask the person something through a question.
You have to.
You know what I'm saying? But the way I formulate the question, it will give the person insight that I know a little bit about what I'm talking about.
And even with that, that makes you want to indulge with somebody more. You know what I'm saying? Because somebody just come and ask me an open-ended question about nothing, I might answer it, but I'm gonna answer it very vague and very brief. I'm like, I'll holler at you. But if you come to me in an insightful way that makes me feel like, okay, we can have a dialogue, then I'm going to respect it a little bit more. So you're 100% right, man. But I think the blind part of it is people really understanding what education is. And people think, oh man, I got to go to college. I got to do this. I got to do that.
I got to get a degree and all that.
You know, I mean, it's great if you do. You know what I mean? Like, I got it. You know what I'm saying? I got lucky.
If you want to be a doctor, if you want to be a surgeon.
If you want to do anything, bro. Because again, it's not about what you presenting to somebody else. It's about the satisfaction of what you presenting to yourself. So when I'm in conversations, nobody's going to check me, but I might just be having to talk to somebody that went to a certain school. And I'm like, oh yeah, that's my alma mater. You gotta have that level,
you know what I'm saying? The level of curiosity.
It's just different stuff, man. So, but what I will say is so many different levels, like in security, right? I give for security. You don't necessarily need degrees, but you need some credentials. You need to have taken some training classes. You need to have went through some type of academy.
That's what education.
You know what I'm saying? It comes from that.
Yeah.
So, but you'd be surprised how many people don't even want to do that.
I still buy courses. Even going through barber battle is education for me, because I meet people that's on a higher level than me, that's doing other things, educators. And I talk to them like, man, how did you get hooked up with this person? And they be like, man, Rich, blah, blah, blah. You know what I'm saying? They give me a level of insight. They might not tell me everything, but I can go back home and do some research. You know what I'm saying? So education means a lot to me, bro. Like,
and it comes from the strangest sources, right? So like I tell you a secret, right? I don't never tell nobody this, right? But one of the main reasons why I've been able to get into certain rooms that I've gotten in is because of one relationship that I created, right? Random dude, last minute pinch, needed some security. I was able to come through, killed it. Little did I know, this dude was George Bush's right-hand man.
George Bush?
George Bush. So this is the president.
The older one or the younger one?
Not his dad, the son.
The son, okay.
He was his right-hand man. Old white dude. So he get to talking to me like, he in random, he was like, man, look, I want to link up with you. Meet me at Starbucks. Like, all right. Link up Starbucks in Crystal City. He's like, look, this is what I need. Can you do it? Yeah. But you know me, I'm used to the Hollywood talk. Everybody, just talking. When I tell you, man, like, boom, 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 boom. This one client alone, just one client. Last year, I probably did half a million just off this one person. Just one.
Close mouth don't get fed.
But again, it's the knowledge. It's not me like, oh, he ain't my people. I ain't listen. This nigga been in the White House. He knows something. He knows something I don't know. So just general conversations with him, man. Just talking. Like,
being curious.
I ain't even think of that.
Being
you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
He made it. He was like, man, look, get your website. And I was like, man, I don't really got no credentials like that. I ain't in no military. I ain't no police. And that's another thing about the security game. I ain't no police. You know what I mean? You know me, I'm furthest thing from the police. You know what I'm saying? I ain't never been in no military.
Yeah.
But that's typically the people who own business. So when I said earlier, people say I'm not supposed to be in certain places, it's because I don't have all them credentials that people have. But my man do. You know what I'm saying?
Relationships.
Yep. My man do. So he say I'm good, then I'm good. You ain't nothing you can say that's going to say nothing different.
Yep.
You know what I'm saying? But I say that to say is that just being around him, you know what I'm saying? I ain't asking for information, but just talking to him, just having general conversation. We'll go to the bar, have some whiskey, just talking to him. I'm like, damn, I ain't even think of that. You know what I'm saying? He was like, look, create your website, put me on your board. you ain't even gotta have these credentials. You get 3,
All
4 board members.
See the names.
3 or 4 board members, and you say, these people are people that I work with, and it's going to give you the same respect as the credentials do. You know what I'm saying? Because that's what it's about, bro.
Yeah.
Like, the higher you get into security, the less security you actually do. And that's what people don't understand. When you start getting into higher levels of security, it's more about customer service than it is actually securing something. If I'm at the White House, they don't need me for security. They got fucking Secret Service. But just being that presence to be able to help somebody if they need help, or, assist with little small stuff that maybe the Secret Service ain't got time to deal with, that's big. Because what happens is my name's still attached to it.
Yeah.
Okay, what the job is.
That goes straight on your resume.
So when people see me at the White House, when people see me at the Supreme Court, when people see me at Fox, when people see me at all these places, they're like, this nigga just started this company. Like, how? I've been doing this shit 10 years. You know what I'm saying? And that's what it's based off. Like I said, no promo, no nothing. Just me talking to people and being myself. I ain't kissing nobody's ass. I ain't like, yes, sir, no, sir. I ain't doing none of that little jigaboo shit. You know what I'm saying? I'm literally just being myself. And people of higher stature, believe it, they appreciate that so much more than some yes man
being
or
genuine.
some person just like, I do whatever I want for this. Nah, man.
They don't want you to kiss their ass.
They don't want that. They so used to that they just want somebody to just give them an honest answer. Hey, nigga, how I look? My suit look good? You know what I mean? It's all right, you know what I'm saying?
You don't say no nigga though, right?
Nah, you know what I'm saying? But you know what I'm saying? It's just small things. And when people get comfortable around you, they start trusting you with different stuff. So a lot of the stuff that I got, and I'll be honest with you, a lot of the stuff that I got was people honestly trusting me enough to say, look, I got too much on my plate, Prince. Take this for me. And that's how I got a lot of my stuff. You know what I'm saying? Like, whether it be from one of the big homies or whatever, it's like, they're so busy because they've been doing this for so long. I haven't, but they respect me enough to say, look, I know he can handle it. Hey, Prince, I can't do this one. Call this person. This person needs 50 people. 50 people, bet. And then when I do the job and then I fulfill it, it's like, oh, he can do it.
Yeah.
I remember I got a call doing this it was like a fair or something. The day before, no, 2 days before, we need 50 people to do this big festival. 50 people.
So how do you get 50 people?
Tell you how, right? Because I'm not a police and I'm in the streets. I'm a person from the streets, in the streets. So when you go get 50 people, I can reach out to my people. You know what I'm saying? Because when you get something that big, it ain't about credentials. They just need bodies at that point.
What about clearance? Clearance
you don't need all that.
You don't need all that?
You don't need all that. It's certain stuff what you're going to need it. But when you're looking at events and when you're looking at, let's just say, the RFK Stadium or something like that, they just want bodies. They want people that's going to be deterrents.
You did the, what's the 50-year hip hop anniversary, right? How was that?
It was dope. It was dope. I'm gonna tell you what was dope about that, though. Right? What was dope about that, and I had a couple of them before was
before you start. How many people did you need for that one?
That was like 42, I think.
And what was the how much time did they give you to find these 42 people?
I had a little bit of time for that one.
Okay,
I had a little bit of time for that one. That wasn't like, some of them be super last minute, some of them wasn't. But that one I think I had about probably like 2 weeks for. So I was prepared for that one. But the dope thing about that one is, as you know, like before I started my own company, I was working for the government. We talk about that, right? But here's the crazy part. The crazy part about it is when I left, I was like, look, man, I'm about to go do my own thing. They was like, oh, yeah, whatever, man. Right? I'm about to go do my own thing.
Because we talked about that.
Right.
He was in a position where he was at an impasse. You said, Rich, man, I don't really want to leave because I got all these benefits and I don't really want to jump out the window because, I don't really want to lose all of this. So you kept going back and forth, back and forth, back and forth. One day you can't even like, Rich, F it. I think I'm gonna take this. I'm gonna do that. I said, man, go for it. I said, go for it, man.
Because I think what it came down to, man, and I'm pretty sure a lot of people that got jobs feel this way though, but it made me feel uncomfortable working for leadership that I was smarter than.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? That's a very uncomfortable feeling. Is somebody telling me what to do who don't got the same education. He don't got the same knowledge. He ain't smart. He just, it's just a person. They just gave you a title because you've been there longer than me. But I just couldn't do that. And for me, it was one of them situations was like, I don't really need y'all, motherfuckers. You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't really need it because if you know me, jobs has always been on the side. Some people got, you know, a job with a business on the side. I've always had a business with a job on the side. You know what I'm saying? So for me, even that other job, I had money. So I just started doing the math. I'm like, man, look,
it ain't that math wasn't mathing, right?
It ain't working, right? So, but I'll tell you the thing that happened that made me leave.
Okay,
right. One of my big homies, man, like he was the boss at where I was working at. Super cool, black, solid dude, man. 5% dudes, man, super solid, right? And I would always complain to him, man, look, man, they trying to get me in, because they was trying to get me up out of that jump. Man, they doing this, they doing that. And he said one of the realest things to me, but he said it because he wanted me to go after a promotion. But what he said to me was, if you don't like the way things are, then be the person making the rules.
Damn.
And I said, nigga, I got you. He thought I was about to go apply for a fucking promotion. But at that moment,
that was, oh, wow.
Those were, and I tell him still to this day, bro, that was the most powerful thing anybody's ever told me. And that was the
breaking point.
From that day, I went into the parking lot, sat in my car, start thinking about company names. The next day I had everything, all my paperwork sent off. And that moment, I think I might have left maybe 2 months later.
So your background as far as security is from the government.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, cool,
yep.
cool.
But again, that was always the thing, you know what I mean? So for me, I got all the knowledge, I got all the credentials, I got all the skills, I got all the relationships. And when I had enough, I'm like, I'll holler at you. You know what I'm saying? But I say that to say, right? So the most satisfying thing for me is when I left on my 2-year, it was like my 2-year anniversary of me leaving. I get an email from no other than the company who I was working for.
They want you to come back?
No, they hiring my company to do the security.
What an irony.
They hired. So now
they didn't know it was.
They didn't know it was me at the time. They didn't know it was me. So when I went to go have a meeting with them, they looking at me like, Travis? I'm like, yeah. He said, damn, you said you was going to do it. I said, yeah, I did. And that was like, it was probably like, if not exact, then a little bit off of 2 years after me leaving.
Look, in your mind, what you said, I'm making the rules now.
it was more so, because it's funny because the person who tried to act like he was happy for me, he was the main one. Like, yeah, nigga, whatever, man. So I kind of knew it, but now it's like, tables turned a little bit. You
I'm
know
making the rules now,
right?
Buddy.
So for me, that was like super satisfying for me to be in charge of that whole thing that they had to hire me to do. So I thought that was pretty dope. But yeah, man, that was dope.
Talk to me about the you was talking about the hip hop anniversary.
Yeah, that was a dope experience, man. So like I said, it was good, man. Being able to be around, like, you know, those iconic type of people, man. Like, so I got to meet Queen Latifah. I met
KRS-One,
MC Light. I didn't meet him. He came on after I had. I think I was somewhere else.
Okay.
I met like Remy Ma. I met was it Moni Love? Yeah. What was it? Not Quicksilver. DJ Quick. You know what I'm saying? But it was just dope, man. It was just dope to be involved with something like that, you know, as a black company. And just represent myself.
You seen Flavor? That's my guy.
Flavor Flav?
Yeah.
No, I don't think he was there. If he was, I didn't see him. Nah, he wasn't there. Because they only had like an assortment of people there. But nevertheless, man, it was a dope experience, man. To be involved with something like that. Man, I was grateful for that.
You also did some security for like celebrities, right?
No. I mean, again, if I've ever done security for a celebrity, it was a favor. You know what I'm saying? So it was me. You know what I mean? It was literally just me looking out for somebody Like, hey, I'm in the pinch. Can you look out for me?
I got you.
You know what I'm saying? Like, I've done like Wu-Tang and, Boosie, stuff like that. But that's not my lane at all. Please don't call me for none of that type of work. That is not what I don't have an interest in that at all. Because it's such a high liability. And the money is not.
It's not.
The misconception of that is like, oh, working with rappers, they got all this money, they about to pay you a whole lot. Nah. It ain't that at all. And then, like I said, for me, it's the wrong kind of security. You know what I'm saying? Like, these motherfuckers is provoking people to come do something to them, and then you got to defend them. Like, that just don't make sense for me, man. So, I stay in my lane with the, the politicians and the corporate stuff.
I'm the same way, because a lot of these, like, even when it comes to haircut, right? A lot of celebrities think that once you cut their hair, they're doing you a favor. And sometimes if you go to their hotel, it's a 24-hour thing. They might want to go smoke. They might want to go in the room and do their thing while you're sitting there waiting on them. Drink, eat. While you're sitting there, you might be halfway through the haircut and they might get up and go do something, take a phone call. So if the money ain't 4 figures or more, don't call me. Don't call me, because it's a 24, I got to cut off everything that I'm doing just to come over there and deal with you. So, like you said, celebrities can be a little hassle when it comes to.
I mean, but that's the good thing about, character, and that's the good thing about being able to say no. A lot of people don't say no because they feel like they need everything. For me, I say no in a heartbeat. I don't have a problem saying no, because for one, I know if I do it, I'm gonna be complaining the whole time. I'm not gonna be happy. You know what I mean? And two, because the moment you break once, you have to break every time.
And I got this, not to cut you off, I got this policy, right? I charge so high that you would tell me no.
For sure.
Like if somebody, they'd be like, you don't do house calls? Yeah. Sometimes I'm like, nah, I don't, because I don't even tell them. I said, nah, I don't. Well, how much you gonna charge me to come to my house? I said, about 600.
Right.
I said, for what?
Right.
For 30 minutes? I said, that's my going rate. They'd be like, all right, I'll let you know. So
because people don't think about shit. People don't think about the aspect of, I got to leave my kid.
They don't get it.
I got to, I got to come over there. I got to go to a place where I'm not comfortable at. You know what I'm saying? I got to be worrying if I'm safe or not. You know what I mean? All of that. But
I don't want to do it.
But again, I do that same thing, right? But I do it because I know there's going to be that 5% that be like, all right. You know what I'm saying?
But then if you tell me, all right, for 600 for 30, 45 minutes, I'm there.
Then you want it. You know what I mean?
I'm there, but I actually don't want it. I'm going to tell you this, right? I did. It was a favor. I went to this lady's house, right? And she's like, man, I need you to come to my house because of this, that, and the third. I said, cool. I didn't charge her that much. I charged her enough though.
Right.
When I got to her house, the first thing she opened up was a beer, right? Okay, cool. And then she sat on the couch like this, right? Where I had to go around the couch just to cut her hair, right? Not just that, she was smoking a cigarette.
Right.
Not just that, she started sweating while I'm cutting her hair. When I tell you, I was so heated that I told myself, I said, moving forward, anytime I go to somebody's house, you got to give me at least $500 or better. Because first of all, I don't want to go. I don't need the money, and I don't want to go. But if you're willing to pay me that much for 45 minutes, I'll be there. It's worth my time. It's worth my time.
By all means, man.
Hey, look, I go on Instagram sometime, right? Just messing around. Sometimes I go through your page, right? I ain't gonna say it's an obsession, but you got some high power artillery, man. Every time I go on your page, you got some type of, I call it one of your tools. You know what I'm saying? One of your hobbies, man. Do you like guns that much, or what is it with guns with you, man?
I'll be honest with you, man. Like, I mean, yeah, the short answer is, yeah, I like guns, right? But the more powerful answer is, I own the things that at one point I thought I wasn't able to own. So growing up, they make it feel like owning these things is so far unrealistic. To have these things, you got to be on TV. To have these things, you got to be white. You got to be, so growing up where I grew up, you don't see that. Like if you see it, you about to get 100 years if they catch you with it. You know what I'm saying? So for me, the moment where I found out that I was in the position to buy the things that I thought I would never be able to own, it was over.
You went crazy.
It was over. You know what I'm saying? Because for me, what? You telling me I can have what? Bet. You know what I'm saying? So a lot of people be like, oh nigga, you crazy. You got this and that. I'm like, nah, man, I'm prepared, if anything. But I'm not a violent person. I ain't buying stuff to go do nothing to people. But I mean that's the misconception.
Hey, look, I be scared when I look on your page.
Yeah, I mean,
so let me ask you this. How much money you think you spent on guns?
Like what? This year? Like last year? Or like period?
Let's just start with this year.
This year I've been good. This year
What's been good?
This year I can honestly say I haven't bought one gun this year.
You lied.
I swear.
I mean, this is we in February though.
Yeah, I haven't bought one gun. I told myself one of my goals is I want to practice being frugal. It's a practice that I wanted to do because I'm not good at it at all. So I made a promise. I'm only going to buy things that I need, and I've been doing really good at it. So I haven't bought anything this year. But that's primarily because of what I spent last year. And I was like, I don't really need nothing else.
What did you spend last year, brother?
A ballpark answer, I would probably say like 35,000. I would say like 35,000 probably.
Don't go to this man's house, man. Don't break in this house. I'm telling you, man. Don't. He got something for you.
But like I said, it's just honestly one of them things where it's that like, it's for me, it's about access, man. It's about accessibility. It's about and then for me, it's a little bit different because for me, it's a tax write-off. I write off everything. It's my business. And then people even pay me. People pay me to use them. You know what I'm saying? So if I got a client that want to go shoot some fun guns, cool. Here go my fee. Yeah. You want to go shoot some shit off Call of Duty? All right, cool. Here you go. Pay me this money. You can go crazy. You know what I mean? So I spend money, but I make money off of them too. So it kind of balances out a lot.
I got you. So you also teach people how to protect themselves, right?
Yeah, for sure.
So how important do you think protecting yourself is as far as, being able to use a weapon?
Let me say this, right? Protecting yourself is super important, of course. You talking about your livelihood, you talking about, your safety. You talking about everybody want to make it back to their family, right? However, the popularity of guns and the trend around guns is what's becoming more popular than actually protecting yourself.
Gotcha.
More people want guns just to say they got guns or to post guns, but a vast majority of it ain't ever gonna pull it if they need to pull it, right? So it's one of those situations where what I tell people is outside of owning a firearm, what's more important is to just wake up. Because everybody living in la la land, be more aware of your surroundings. You know what I'm saying? Know what you're dealing with when you're around yourself, because if you paying attention to the world, you ain't got to pull your gun. You be gone before anything pop off.
Exactly.
You know what I'm saying? But everybody in their phones all day. Everybody, doing everything instead of paying attention to what they supposed to be paying attention to. So even if you do got a gun, if you ain't paying attention, you gonna have time to pull it. And are you training to even do so? People think that, I got a gun, I'm just going to pull it out. I'm just going to be able to. Nah, the facts are, if something happens to you, you got 3 to 5 seconds to react. Most brains are going to freeze up.
In between it, yeah.
They're going to freeze up.
They go in that fight or flight state. Yeah.
If you're at a gas station and somebody jumps out on you, your first instinct isn't, let me pull my gun. No, you what the fuck? You know what I'm saying?
Your cortisol level goes so high that you freeze.
So by the time you get to pull anything, it's over. They done took it from you, or they done pulled theirs. But if you was paying attention, you'd had, instead of that 5 seconds, you'd had 20 seconds. So me, I pump my gas, and I'm going to put my thing, I walk away from the car, I stand back, you know what I mean? I'm seeing everything that's happening. Once it pop, cool, I'm gone. But it's just small things like that, especially for women, man. Like most of my clients, 95% of my clients are women. So, man, I think we're in a world right now, unfortunately, where, you know, the guys ain't really protecting the women like that. You know what I'm saying? We live in a world where, like, if you see something happening to a woman, the dude to record it before he helped her. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
so,
absolutely.
Unfortunately, you know what I'm saying? So now it's
everybody want to go viral nowadays. Yeah.
So for me, it's like, all right, well, you on your own, so let's get you right. But even them, like, before the guns are even a thing, it's just small things, man. Like, just when you get in your car, pull off. What you sitting there on your phone for? You know what I'm saying? If you're in the garage, it's perfectly okay to be paranoid. You don't know what's going on.
Absolutely.
So if you do got a gun, be ready. You know what I'm saying? Somebody having that, you got to fumble through your bag to try to get it. But there's so many preventative measures that you can do before it even comes down to pulling your gun. But again, it's a trend. Everybody want a gun. And for me, you know, I benefit from the trend, so I'm not too mad. But I also preach, like, are you going to train with it? Because for me, I do it so much. If you pull up on me, I'm out instantly. I'm ready. But I train for that. You know what I'm saying? I train how to draw. I train how to, you know, be ready. So, but if you're not doing that type of training, your muscle memory ain't adjusted to do that.
I was just about to ask you that. Do you train people to do that as far as tactical and critically think and all of that when it comes to it? Like, that's why I always preach education, because a lot of people do things without being educated.
Right.
You gotta, you know what I'm saying? There's a you can get your permit now. Let me go get it without even doing the back record, how to even do certain things after you get that you get your permit. You know
what I'll say is this. I actually posted today, like, how many people. I think I might have had maybe 80 people last year that got their permits, right? Out of that 80 people, I say maybe 5 trains consistently.
Wow.
And that's a heartbreaking thing.
Yeah.
Because they come to me.
They don't go to the range.
They'll go for that first time because they have to. But after that, they not putting in the work to be good. And people don't understand that when it comes to something as serious as firearms, when you pull it, you want to make sure you hitting what you're supposed to hit. Because you pull it trying to go against an attack and you done shot a fucking, you know, pedestrian on accident.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? But unfortunately, it's something that people don't take serious. People do not take training serious. People do not take safety serious. They get it because they're able to get it. And one of their family members told them they should get it. But as far as the training that goes, that you need to mentally be prepared, unfortunately, many don't take it. And it's a heartbreaking thing, man. And I preach it all the time. Like, if you go on carry this gun, one or two things gonna happen. Somebody gonna take it from you, or you're gonna use it the wrong way. You know what I'm saying? You're gonna freak out, get scared, and pop somebody that ain't justified, or you're gonna not pop somebody and you end up pop. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And that's a real thing, bro. A lot of people get their guns taken away from them, you know, especially females. Because females, I tell people all the time, never pull your gun to scare nobody. If you're going to pull it, be ready. Because everybody ain't scared of guns. You know what I'm saying? So if you pull it and he ain't scared.
So nervous going their purse shaking and all of that. Next thing you know, he got your purse, got your gun.
But, you know what I mean? It's some people that's built like that. So you pull a gun on me, I'm like, what you going to do now? You know what I'm saying? And if you ain't ready to do it, now you got one less gun and you got, you know, one less, whatever else I'm trying to take. So, yes, it's a heartbreaking thing, man. Like, it's one of the things, honestly, where it's really demoralized, and like I'm uninspired to continue to do the gun aspect of things, because it's not fulfilling. You know what I'm
So let
saying?
me
Because
ask you
people
this.
don't take it serious.
What's the proper protocol, in your opinion, that a person has to go through? What are the prerequisites that you think a person has to go through in order to obtain a gun?
I mean, it's not what I think. It's what the standard is. You know what I'm saying? And it depends on the state. You know what I'm saying? So if let's just say we're in Maryland, for Maryland, you got to do the class. It's a 16-hour class that you got to take that goes over, you know, safety protocols, that goes over operation, it goes over laws, it goes over, you know, everything, what you can, what you can't do, how to protect yourself the right way, what's justified, what's not justified. Of course, you can't have felonies. You can't have anything on your record with a violent nature, no domestic violence, stuff like that. Another thing that people don't know is you can't obtain a firearm permit if you have a medical marijuana card.
People don't know that. You can't get certain jobs without that. They consider you as a handicap.
Right.
Yeah.
So, you know, it's a lot of stoners that, you know, they want their guns, but they can't get it. You know what I'm saying? But yeah, I mean, it's a super easy process, especially for Maryland.
But is that a good thing though?
Yeah, man.
As far as like, I mean, sometimes everything easy is not good. Do you think a 16-hour class is good enough for a person to actually get a permit?
Yeah, for sure. I mean, because put it to you like this. If a person's mentally unstable, they can take a 100-hour class. They still gonna be retarded. You know what I mean? Taking longer classes or making it more difficult is not gonna make a person not get it. And you legally can't tell a person you can't get it. So yeah, you can put more difficult parameters in there, but if somebody wants it, they're gonna get it. You know what I'm saying? But even the 16 hours, in my opinion,
it's too much.
It's excessive.
Yeah.
Because it's so repetitive and it's unnecessary. It's talking about, you know, stuff that really don't
That's
matter.
what I mean, because I think like I said, in my opinion, you should have a curriculum. So I feel like practice makes perfect, right? And sometimes when you do something for a long time, it becomes a habit. You know, so a 16-hour thing, people are like, let me just go do the 16-hour thing, because that's all it is. And I don't have to pay attention.
You think it should be like longer?
Yeah, I think it should be like a longer period where they teach you certain curriculums, as far as tactical, as far as critical thinking, as far as simulation, where they have people come at you in certain ways where you learn to, you know what I'm saying, to think, to actually think before you react. Because a lot of people, once they get a gun, they get gung-ho. They might walk around you and just bump you just to shoot you. They don't really teach that as far as simulation is concerned. So I think the ways of going to get a gun is a little bit too lenient.
Yeah. I mean, like I said, all of that stuff is subjective, man. But when it comes down to it, there isn't, and I'll be real with you, being on both sides of the field, being from the streets, being from whatever, there is no simulation that's going to prepare you for no real life shit.
For critical,
you know what I'm saying?
Thinking.
It isn't one.
Exactly.
You know what I'm saying? So you can do all of the classes you want. You can do all of the PowerPoints you want. You can do as many simulations as you want. But somebody in your face with the barrel to your face telling you to do something, you ain't thinking about no simulation. You thinking, oh, what you know what I mean? So I understand where you coming from, being on the outside, but it's not a reality. You know what I'm saying? It's one of those things where it's though the only way to prepare yourself for certain situations is
self-awareness, right?
It's self-awareness, right? So again, for me, and I'll be honest with you, like, it's such a condition for my brain, you know what I'm saying, that it's almost scary. You know what I'm saying? Because I'm too on point sometimes. Whereas like now I'm looking at shit that ain't even there. You know what I'm saying? You see
that learned or that's who you are?
It's habit.
It's habit.
It's habit.
Exactly.
You know what I'm saying? It's one of those habituatory things where, you know, but it starts in the streets. You know what I'm saying? In the streets, you have no choice but to have that awareness. You know what I'm saying? If you don't, then you know what happens.
Mm-hmm.
So being able to transfer that over, I already know what to look for. I know the signs. Like, I ain't green, so I know, hey, somebody moving that way, that ain't a good sign. Oh, this car just came by 2-3 times.
Instincts.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But people don't. You know what I'm saying? People.
I think it's
women
more
women are
ignorance.
horrible with that type of stuff. Unfortunately, like even my own personal people. You know what I'm saying? I get on them all the time.
Watch where you going.
Watch where you going.
Stop
you know
being
what I'm
so
saying?
nice. You know,
it's just one of those things where it's like nothing's going to prepare you like the real situation. You know what I'm saying? Ain't no class that's going to prepare you for that.
Makes sense.
So, legally, they're going to give you whatever you got to do to get what you got to do. But it's up to you, because at the end of the day, they don't care whether we die or not. They doing what the amendments say they got to do. The amendments say we got the right to bear arms. Cool. This is what you got to do to get it. Once you get it, what you going to do with it? And what people got to understand is they're giving us the permits because they want us to break the law. That's why there's so many loopholes and there's so many gray areas and there's so many, all right, well, you can do this, but you can't do that.
Yeah. Because
they know people aren't going to pay attention to the details.
They don't look at the traps.
Even if you look at something as small as like DC, right? DC say, all right, well, you can carry your gun, but you can't have more than 10 rounds in your magazine. So if you live in Maryland, you got more than 10 rounds, or if you're coming from Virginia, you got more than 10 rounds. Now you got to consciously think every time I go to DC
to another city or another state.
I got to do something else, because every state is different. You know what I'm saying? So even when it comes down to DC, you can't carry on what's considered federal property. The problem is people don't know what federal property is all the time. It's things that, outside of the White House, that's federal property. Mm-hmm. It's apartment complexes that's owned by the government that you technically can't be in. But people don't know that. Yeah. You know what I mean? So they're going to give it to us because they have no choice. But it's our jobs to do the extra due diligence to find out what the laws are in their town so they can protect themselves. Because they're not going to protect you.
Yeah.
So, but yeah, like I said, unfortunately, man, people don't take it as serious as they should. And you would think they do with all of the stuff that's going on in the world. You would think that they would. And it's just unfortunate, man. Like, even like one of my biggest things that I advocate is like my street people, man.
Yeah.
It's the misconception. I can't get that. You ain't got no felonies, do you?
It goes back to education.
Nah, I ain't got no felonies. What you waiting on then? Mm-hmm. So you carrying a dirty gun, but you only got it to protect yourself. Now I can see if you a hitter. I can see if you a shotter. Then of course you ain't gonna walk around with your own gun. But if it's only to defend yourself, why would you be dirty on purpose? That don't make sense.
There's a saying go that my people perish for lack of knowledge.
You know what I'm saying? But even my people with criminal records, it's ways around it, bro. You can get it sealed. You can get it expunged. You know what I'm saying? I got a lot of big homies did stuff 10 years ago, 15 years ago, and they're like, oh man, I can't get this. Yeah, you can, bro. It's ways. Are you gonna do the work though? You know what I mean? You got to do the work to get it.
People don't like to do that.
People don't like to do it, but like I'm an advocate for, if you can get it, get it. You know what I'm saying? Because for me, one of my biggest reasons why I take it so serious is because I've been caught without it before, and I got shot. I don't know if you know that, but I got shot in my chest before, put in a vulnerable situation where somebody got a gun to me and I can't defend myself.
Wow.
You know what I'm saying? End up getting popped. So I'm like, never again.
Better with it than without it.
You know what I'm saying?
Right?
So my motto is, if you ever get me again, it's my fault because I knew better. You know what I'm saying? So anything that happens to me, I don't take it personally. I knew better than that. I knew not to be nowhere. You see me when you cut my hair. Shit, what's that? What's going on? You know what I'm saying? Like, that's just how I move.
Absolutely, yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So, but with that, man, it's a lot of trauma that come with that too. Yeah. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And like, one thing I realized, this is a crazy story, right? And one thing I never realized how like messed up my brain was. You know what I'm saying? So I carry guns so much that it's a security blanket in a sense, right? So I remember one day I left the house. I was a little under the influence or whatever. So I left it on purpose because I was like, nah, I was smoking. I ain't gonna carry it. But I tripped out because I've never been nowhere without my gun. And the trauma that came in my head and the paranoia that came with it is I can't be a normal person. I can't just go to the store. I can't just, go to the Walmart. You know what I mean? Everywhere I go, I'm looking out for threats. I can't be a normal person. My brain don't think like a normal person. So I remember being at the carryout trying to get food, and I moved my car like 6 different times. So I was like, no, I can't see that way. I can't see that way. Oh, no. And I started tripping out like, man, why can't I'm like not normal, bro. I can't go nowhere without no gun. I was so uncomfortable that it like choked me up. Like it had me emotional. Like, damn, like I'm really fucked up. Like I can't do nothing. When I'm with my kids, when I'm with everything, I'm strapped everywhere. So it take a toll. Like, damn, like the moment that you don't have it, you like, what the hell? Like something ain't right. You know what I'm saying? So that's the downside of it. You know what I'm saying? When you do it as much as I do it, it becomes that handicap to where as though some places you can't go without. Some places you can't go. You know what I'm saying? You can't go with it. So you don't have no choice, but now you're so uncomfortable. So people know, don't ask me to go to no parties. Don't ask me to go, you know what I mean? I ain't going to no bars, you know what I'm saying? Unless you know somebody and I'm good in there, I ain't going. You know what I'm saying? That's just what it is. But so it's a crutch to that too. You know what I mean? I can't be a normal person. I can't just go do fun, normal stuff because I'm always like, so.
Yo, affinity with guns is crazy, man. Speaking of training, right? I go by the motto of health is wealth, right? I make sure that, in order to have longevity as far as, and enjoy your money as far as the labor that you put in, the fruits of your labor, man, I feel like you got to be healthy physically, mentally, spiritually, financially. And I think you lately, man, I've been seeing you in the gym, man. And you've been getting your work on. So what was the reason for that change, for that shift?
If I'm being honest with you, man, the biggest reason for me is how can I put it? The biggest thing for me is leadership.
Okay.
It's about accountability. It's about standing on something, right? So for me, one of my biggest pet peeves is to be critiqued by somebody who doesn't hold the things that they're holding you responsible for. So
being a hypocrite, right?
If you're broke, I'll never have a money conversation with you. Because it's for what? That doesn't make sense, right? So I think for me, when I realized that it was my job to critique people on how they looked and how they represented themselves and how they, their statures and their fitness, because I need you to be able to do X, Y, and Z in order to work here. I felt weird. I felt hypocritical asking these things of people that I wasn't able to perform myself. You know what I'm saying? So for me being a leader, there's no way I can say, hey man, I need you to be in shape. And I'm sitting there all fat and tired and shit. You know what I'm saying? Like, that don't make sense for me.
I got you.
You know what I'm
so
saying?
You leading by example.
So for me, I couldn't be that type of, because again, that defeats the entire purpose of me even starting my own company. I started my own company to be different from the people I was working for. And that's what I was dealing with from the people I was working for. Like, you telling me I got to do this obstacle course, I got to do this, and you sitting there with your belly over your pants. Like, that don't make sense for me. You know what I'm saying? So for me, one of the biggest things is in my process of elevating my company, I want to be, when you see me,
you want to be a representation.
Yeah, when you see me, before you see any of my other people, I'm like, oh shit, okay. I see. So then when you see my soldiers behind me, I like it.
Yeah.
But I can have the coolest dudes in the world that look the part, but if I'm sitting there all, belly over my pants, that ain't a good look, man. It was that, and it was the second thing is like, my son is getting older, man. My son is active now.
What's your son?
He's 5 now.
Okay.
So he getting into sports. I don't want to be the fat dude on the sideline. You know what I'm saying? I can't be the fat dude. I can't run up and down the sideline while he playing football. I'm in the chair like, go son. Nah, I want to be out there. I want to be active. And on top of that, like, I discipline with exercise.
Yeah.
And I seen myself in a situation where like I got my 4-year-old, my 3-year-old at the time, busting out 50 push-ups on his knuckles like a savage.
Oh, he did that in here.
He did it in here. He did it in here. But one day he was like, come on, Daddy, your turn. And I tried to think of every excuse in the world. You know what I'm saying? I couldn't fulfill it. So it's like he wanted me to participate and do it with him.
Did you have a certain level of insecurity
I
after
did.
the fact?
It was big. I had a big level of insecurity. You know what I'm saying? Because again, now it's hypocritical, man. My son is like, come on, Dad, like work out. And that's all he want to do now. He in there.
Mm-hmm.
So he like, come on, Daddy, like, let's go. And I'm like, I did mine earlier, son. You know what I'm saying? So for me, it was those two things. It was just like, I want to represent something better. I want to represent something bigger. And it's funny because I think it was yesterday or the day before yesterday, I was talking to one of my exes, and she was telling me like she was calling me arrogant. She was saying that I was arrogant. And she was like, yeah, you was arrogant, but I don't really know why. Like basically saying, nigga, you don't look like somebody that's supposed to be arrogant. I was like, what the fuck you mean? You know what I'm saying? So it's like, I started thinking about that shit. Like I did have a certain level of, cockiness about me, just, friendly cockiness. But again, like I didn't have that, you know what I'm saying? Like I didn't have that thing to back it up. You know what I mean? Yeah, you got money, you got all this shit. But when you saw me, I wanted you to see success. I wanted you, like, especially if I'm in the security business, when you see me, I want you to say, all right, I
want to personify the image that you are.
I got to, you know what I'm saying? Because I'm the first person that they see. I'm the first person on the line. So, that was one of the biggest things. So like for me, like you said, I linked up with my man, Ray.
Shout out to Ray.
Shout out to Ray, man.
He best trainer in the world.
Yeah, so we've been working hard, man, and he getting me right, man. Like I said, I done dropped a lot of weight.
How much weight you drop?
Shit,
y'all like what, 50 pounds?
47 pounds now,
Jeez.
Man. And like I said, I'm stronger than I've ever been. I don't
want to see you walking around here with no shirt on.
Oh, it's coming. It's coming. You know what I'm saying? It's coming. Look, you see my jeans getting smaller and shit. You know what I mean? Like, you know how I get the clothes getting more fitted.
And look, Kevin Gates lost some weight. Nigga don't put a shirt on over there, man.
So, but it just, like I said, it's that thing that like, you want to feel good. And but like I said, more importantly for me, man, it was, I just couldn't allow myself to be a hypocrite. You know what I'm saying? I couldn't judge you for not having something that I didn't possess. Mm-hmm. So now when I say you need to be able to do this,
they can look at you like, okay.
And I say, all right, come on, let's do it together.
Yeah.
That's how you lead. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? That's how you get people on your side. That's how people respect you. You know what I'm saying? Because like people want to work for me, man. People want to work with me. And it's because of how I carry myself. You know what I'm saying? Like I said, I ain't no police. I ain't acting like no police. I ain't, you know what I mean? Mm-hmm. I let you know now, I'm security.
Yeah.
I ain't locking nobody up. You ain't got to be out here acting super police. You know what I mean? We ain't doing none of that. You
ain't got no police license.
Nah, you leave that. I ain't got none of that, man. You know what I'm saying? And that's the thing. Like, so for me, like I work with a lot of youngins, man.
Yeah.
I work with a lot of youngins. So when I pull up, I'm them. When I pull up, I'm what they want to be. Yeah. So that inspired them to want to keep working for me. So when I pull up, I know I got 19, 20, 21-year-olds, 22-year-olds. You know what I'm saying? So when I pull up, I'm going to pull up in the Hellcat. You know what I'm saying? When I pull up, I'm going to pull up in the AMG. When I pull up, I'm going to pull up in, in the flies. I'm not even into this type of stuff for real. But I know who's watching. And you got some dudes that do it because the women watching. I don't care about that. I know the people who want to be involved with me, they see what I'm doing, and that makes them want to continue to work for me because they know I can help them, figure out what they're trying to figure out. And anybody who worked for me know you can ask me anything, business related. Like my goal, I don't even want you to work for me that long. If you got a different plan, let me know it. You know what I'm saying? I'm not a type of person. You ain't got to work for me 10, 20 years. I don't want that. You come to me like, hey, Prince, how you do this? How you get to this? How you do this? I'm gonna tell you everything you need to know. Yeah. Now, what you gonna do? You know what I'm saying? I had a conversation with a youngin complaining about how much he got paid. oh man, well, you only paying me this and you getting this. I say, all right, cool. How much you think you're supposed to get paid? Oh man, I think I should be getting like 40, 50. I bet. This what I'm gonna do. You go create you a business. I give you a contract and you run it. And you can get as much money as you want. Oh man, I don't know how to do that. Well, that's why you work for me. You know what I'm saying? Like, so people just gotta be real with themselves. You know what I'm saying? Like at the end of the day, anything that you want to tell me, I'm not here to hold nobody back. You know what I'm saying? Because I've been held back. I know how that is. So I got the knowledge because I earned it. So if I can let you know something, here. You know what I'm saying? We go back and forth with knowledge all the time. You know what I'm saying? Like we met like that, you know what I'm saying? Me and you, we met like that, talking about, you know what I mean, some business type stuff. So that's just what it is, man. But when I do certain stuff, I know who's watching me. So when you ask me how I can go get 50 people, it's because I got the youngins, man. I got the youngins. I got the people that's in the streets that's connected to people. So if I post something saying I need 50 people, I got 20 homegirls, they got 20 brothers, they got da-da-da-da-da, and they know what I'm about and they ain't gonna send me nobody weird. So now I done pull 50 people and they like, how the hell you do that? Don't worry about all that. You asked for what, I got it for you.
Absolutely.
So now it's like, oh. And that's how I kind of got on the map, just being able to do what others wasn't able to in short periods of time. You know what I'm saying? And being able to be places other people can't be. So, you know, it all worked out, man.
So looking in the future, man, what's in store for Prince?
You know, I don't know, man. I think right now, I'm at this pivotal point where I'm realizing that business takes a certain level of maturity that I don't have. So for me, it's finding that maturity. It's building that maturity. You know what I'm saying? Because all my other businesses, I don't really like calling them businesses no more, because it was stuff that operated off of Instagram. It was magazines. It was, you know, marketing stuff. It was all things like that I can just make a couple posts on Instagram, you know, people booking me, people doing this, doing that. I just keep the money.
Yeah.
Now it's a whole nother world. It's so much paperwork. You got to have every single piece of everything together. You got to make sure your license is on point. You got to make sure your taxes are done. You got to make sure your insurance is on point. You got to make sure, you know, you keeping up with your books. You got to make sure that all of this stuff that you got to do, that this year I realized, oh shit, I got to be a grown up. You know what I'm saying? If not, I'm going to drown. So that's where I'm at now. Like I've reached this success with my company. So now I got the pressure on of maintaining it. Okay. How do I maintain it? I did this last year. How do I double it this year? Got you. And I think one of the biggest things that I realized, especially my downfall, I don't know if everybody experienced this, but I'll be candid and say, like, in 2023, I probably made more money than I've ever made in my life. Like ever. Like probably combined. Wow. I probably made more money in 2023 than I've probably made 36 years prior to that, right? Which sounds crazy, right? But the downside of that is I've spent way more money than I've ever spent in my life. You know what I'm saying? Wow. And that's the stuff that people need to know. I can tell you about how to be successful. That's easy. How to stay successful is what I'm still trying to figure out. You know what I'm saying? I'm good at becoming successful. I've always been able to become successful, but maintaining the success is the challenge. So that's what I'm learning now. Like, okay, now you're in a position where you can make $1 million, $2 million. Cool. What you gonna do next year? Or, okay, I made $1 million on paper, but nigga, you done spent 300,000 of it. You know what I'm saying? So,
and once Uncle Sam come get his cut,
that's another thing. People got to prepare for that. You make so much money and you out here balling like you spending money, but then he gonna knock like, hey, I need 22 G's. 22 G's. You know what I mean? But So as far as moving forward, man, like I said, this is just me being, it's anybody can give you the upsides of success. Anybody can give you, the positive sides of success. But for me, I'm still learning every day, man. So it's me realizing that I can get the success, but my son only 5. Can I maintain it until he's grown? You know what I'm saying? Like, that's a long time. Or am I going to crash and, be working a job? You know what I mean? So
hey, you always going to find something to do. You smart.
Yeah, but that's what I'm trying to avoid, though. I'm trying to avoid just jumping from one thing to the next.
Absolutely.
Like, this is the only business that I feel like I have that I am passionate about. Everything else was just something to do.
Okay.
Everything else was just, man, I know I can do it. Let me do it. But this is the only thing where I was like, I have purpose in this. You know what I'm saying? I have a sense of, feeling good in this. So I want to keep it going. But you know how it works. Now that I want to keep it going, it's going to be so many challenges that kind of deter me away from it. So it's just a maturity, man. It's just me growing up as a business owner, as a boss. Like I said, even when it comes to the fitness, it's me growing up and saying, like, in order for me to be a better this, I got to do this. In order for me to accomplish this, I got to do this.
And my man David Goggins said, do that tough shit.
Yeah, you got to. So yeah, that's where I'm at, man. So a lot of big stuff coming up, man. The weather is breaking. I'm about to get crazy busy.
Okay.
And like I said, right now it's just me humbling myself and slowing down and not focusing so much on spending and more on reinvesting and more on, putting different things in different orders and hiring people and, just trying to present a better product to the people.
Absolutely. So I ask most of my guests this, right? When it's all said and done, right? When they hang your jersey in the rafters, right? And you done kick your feet back and, you relaxing somewhere in a yacht, what do you want to be remembered by?
I heard this thing not too long ago that said, let me ask you, do you know the difference between fame and notoriety?
What's that?
So fame is when people know who you are. Everybody knows you. Everybody. You came from this and made this, not just financially, but you brought people with you. You put people in better situations. I think that's kind of where I'm at. I want to have notoriety. Okay. I have no interest in being famous. I hate social media. You know what I'm saying? These are not interests of mine, but I like the impact that I'm able to give to others. And I think me being a person that came from not having those examples,
Man, that's dope, man. That's dope, man. Well, this has been a truly high level conversation.
Yeah, man.
Hey, man, I appreciate you for coming through,
sure,
man.
Man, of course.
I know you're not a social media person, but I know you have a social media handle, man. Because I see your goddamn guns.
Yeah,
man. Where can people find you at,
man? Yeah, man. So if you want to do the Instagram, I'm ASG_black. Yeah, ASG_black on Instagram. Like I said, you need gun training, you need your gun permit. You're looking for a job and you want to reach out. Like I said, that's where you can find me at.
That's what's up, man. This has been another classic conversation.
Yeah, man.
This is what I call rich talk. You know what I'm saying? I named this podcast for this reason, man. Like I said, rich is not about monetary physical values, man. It's about what's in here, man.
Absolutely.
And this has been one of them high level conversations, man. I appreciate you.
For sure, man. I appreciate you having me, baby.
Coming in here, man, just spending a couple of hours with me.
Yeah, man. Of course. It's my pleasure, man.
I wish you nothing but much success, great health, great wealth, man. Moving forward, my brother.
Likewise, man.
We'll see you at the same time, at the same channel next week.
Yeah. Man. Rich talk,
man. Y'all be safe.
Yes, sir.
When we are Bye.